Our very special guest for the evening, and this is Mr. Fabrice Santoro.
Sorry, it's kind of an Ippon. As a person who sits behind the desk in the air-conditioned room the entire day, how do you deal with the heat and so much exercise?
Wow.
Tonight is not the evening for long speeches, but I did just want to say a few words. Firstly, to say welcome to the Ippon Australia Summer Party 2018, our inaugural summer party, a small, intimate affair. Let's see what it turns into over the next 12 months. I also wanted to say thank you to all the people that we've been working with and have been part of our community over the past 12 months. 2017 has been a really interesting year for Ippon in Australia, and without our friends at ANZ Bank and Myer and our friends at Toyota, we wouldn't be here today. So thank you for all your support, and I'm hoping that we can continue to do some great things in 2018. For those who are not aware, Fabrice is he played professionally in tennis, obviously, from 1989 to 2010. He peaked at world number 17, which is no mean feat. He won the doubles finals here at the Australian Open twice. I think it was 2003, 2004.
Exactly.
Wow. And racked up 30 ATP World Tour titles. Yeah. That's pretty good. I don't have any, but you know, we'll get there. And interestingly, holds the record for the second most appearances in singles Grand Slam events, behind only Roger Federer.
If we did the event 1 year ago, I was number one.
Yeah.
We are late.
Where was last year's summer party? Where was last year's summer party?
The best player I ever played was, of course, Roger Federer, because I was lucky or unlucky to play him 11 times. 11, yeah. And the first 3 meetings we had, I won twice, but he was not number one. And then never again. But he's unique as a player, he's unique as a person, and even I saw him during the Open because he beat my player actually a few days ago. And yes, Richard Gasquet, I'm coaching Richard for 5 months now, and I can't believe how Roger Federer is 36 years old, so many years on the tour. He won 19 Grand Slam tournaments, and when you see him in the locker room, I feel like he's 15 years old. And how can you be so fresh after such a important career? And he's very elegant. He's a great ambassador for tennis.
Well, I've got a question for you around a similar sort of theme, and it's longevity. I mean, you had a professional tennis career for 21 years, which is unusual. The success, especially over time like that, is coveted in business like it is in tennis. What was your secret to lasting for over 2 decades?
As you said, to stay at the top in any business is pretty tough, because every morning you have to push the limit to try to improve yourself. You have to go back to work, and in tennis you're alone when you play a match, so you can't stop for one day, because I remember when I was a junior, I didn't want to take 1 day holidays, because I knew if I stopped for 1 day, the other will practice. So I was playing tennis 365 days a year, and I always said this is the best way for me to improve. This is the best way to become a better player, and to keep the level and the motivation years after years. You have to keep the passion, and you must have the passion of the game. And I have this even now. I'm 45 years old, and I played a tennis match today in the Legends tournament, and I enjoy so much to be on the court, and we were there today
That's great.
to support the French team. And,
French and Iranian.
yeah, exactly. And you can see that even if the competition is not as important as before, we enjoy so much to be on the court, and this is the secret, I think. And that's why Roger Federer may win the Australian Open again at 36 years old, is because he has the same passion, and he's so fresh, and he loves the game, and he loves to compete, he loves to practice, and that's probably the secret to that top. In singles, my best year in Melbourne was in 2006. I reached the quarterfinal. I remember I won the first match pretty easily, and the second match it was like 34, 35 degrees. I played like 3 hours, and the third match I played an Argentinian player. It was 42 degrees on the court, and I played 4 hours 20 minutes. And when I walked
for Fabrice.
and when I walked back to the locker room, I saw my face in the locker room. I couldn't believe it. I was a person. I was completely red, destroyed, and dead. And 2 days later, I came back on the court against a Spanish player. You probably some of you know, David Ferrer, because he had a great career at the final in the French Open. And I beat him one more match over 3 hours. And I couldn't believe I was able to find the power and every day to go back to fight, because I always compare tennis with a boxing fight, with a separation with a net. We touch each other with the ball, but we fight clearly. And because I think when you really want something, when you don't like to lose, which is very important point in sport in general, like in life maybe. When you want to win, you find the mental resource, capacity to fight again and to find new energy. And those mornings, I remember the third and the fourth match I played. When I wake up, I said, I can't play a tennis match today. I'm too tired, I'm dead. And I went to bike like 15-20 minutes in the morning, and then I went to practice 30-40 minutes. And my body started to feel better and better. And I went on the match, and I was trying my best on every point, because I don't want to lose, and I hate to lose. But it's tough.
I have one other question for you. Your nickname is the Magician.
Yeah.
And we're very keen to understand what the backstory is behind the Magician. But more importantly, for anyone who's been watching the tennis this year, you might have seen the Korean Chung play, who I think is a bit of a magician. Watching him play Djokovic the other day, it was remarkable. Do you think you're going to lose the nickname? Will Chung?
I lost the Grand Slam record a few months ago with Federer, because I played 70 Grand Slam and now we play 71 at the US Open, 72 now. And I'm okay to lose the nickname of Magician with Chung. And he's a fantastic player, only 21 years old, and it's great to see a player coming to the game at the high level from a new culture. We had Nishikori from Japan. We at the moment had some troubles and too many injuries. Now we have a Korean player, and hopefully, tennis is a worldwide sport, and it's so important to have this kind of player coming to the game. I guess in the next 5-6 years, a Chinese player will be there. And all these new players coming from different countries are good for our sport.
Awesome.
But the Magician, what does it come?
The Magician is coming from in 2002. I played a match in March in California against former number 1 Pete Sampras, the American.
Oh, Pete Sampras.
Yeah. He won a couple of Grand Slams.
One or two.
And I think 13. Yeah, 13 Grand Slam. And we had actually, it's always tough to talk about myself, because I'm not the best man to talk about myself. But my game is very different. I play with 2 hands both sides, and the way I play is like I play a little bit tennis like we play chess, because I don't have the body of the modern body. I'm not very strong, so I have to use the strategy on the court, and using the strategy more than other players brings Pete Sampras to say that I'm a magician. That's right. So it's coming from California.
And it's got Pete Sampras.
Pete Sampras said that after a match we played in California.
Okay.
We're here.
You have another one. Tell me.
Wait, can we get some tennis lessons while you do?
Tennis lesson?
Sure. The rooftop.
I have 2 players already. I can have a third one. Yeah.
But you need to play with like Monsieur Barami. He's a teammate of ours, double,
and he plays with 6 balls. Six balls. Today he serves with 6 balls in the left hand.
From time to time, he just puts away his racket and plays with his hand on his head.
It was a very funny match to play. It was more like a show than a tennis match, but we enjoyed it and we won.
Well, thank you again, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. The night is but young. Eat, drink, be merry, and we're looking forward to an amazing 2018, as I hope everyone here is. So, thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks to you. Thank you.